Welcome to our channel. Today, we're exploring 3 Roosevelt dimes that have captured the attention of collectors and achieved extraordinary value. These aren't just ordinary coins you find in your pocket, they are standout pieces, each with its own story, rarity, and impressive history. Let's get started. Before we move on to the rest of today's coins, let's begin with a small piece of change that almost everyone has handled many times without thinking about it. A simple dime. Light, thin, and easy to overlook. Most people pass it along without a second thought. But among the many coins produced in the year 2000, one dime from the Denver Mint became surprisingly important to collectors. The Roosevelt dime has been part of American currency for a long time. First introduced in 1946, it carries the image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design was created to honor his leadership and his work that shaped the country's direction during challenging years. By the time the year 2000 arrived, the design had become a familiar sight to everyone. That year, the Denver Mint produced an enormous number of dimes. These coins were made for everyday use, and the expectation was simple: they would go out into the world, pass from hand to hand, and help move daily commerce. Most of them did exactly that. They went into banks, stores, wallets, and change jars all across the country. Collectors, however, see coins differently. They look closely at dates, mint marks, and condition. Even modern coins, which many assume are too common to be valuable, can have qualities that make them appealing to those who pay attention to details. When millions of coins are made, there are moments during production when something unusual can happen. Sometimes it's related to the dies used to strike the coins. Sometimes it has to do with the pressure, the alignment, or the preparation of the metal. And sometimes it's simply the rare survival of a coin that escaped any imperfections. For the 2000 D. Roosevelt dime, the interest focuses on those few coins that left the mint in exceptional condition. High-grade modern coins are surprisingly difficult to find. Although they are newer, they often acquire small nicks, lines, or marks before they ever reach the public. These marks can come from the large bags coins are transported in, from counting machines, or even from the pressure of thousands of coins pressing against each other during shipment. Collectors know that finding a perfect example is not easy. A coin must retain its original luster, sharp detail, and clean surfaces. Even a tiny scratch can lower the grade and reduce its appeal. The challenge is that most 2000 D dimes look exactly as expected. They are typical circulation quality coins with light wear or small signs of contact. Because of this, some collectors began opening sealed rolls of dimes from the year 2000 in hopes of discovering a top quality piece. Others checked jars that had been sitting untouched for years. A few looked through their old pocket change. Most of these searches turned up ordinary coins, as expected. But every so often, a cleaner, sharper example would surface, and that was enough to encourage collectors to keep looking. Eventually, one coin appeared that stood out immediately. It had strong detail, clean fields, and no visible contact marks. It looked as if it had avoided all the usual handling that normal coins go through. This coin was sent for professional grading, where it received a score so high that it instantly became one of the finest known examples of its date and mint. Coins that receive such high grades often draw interest from specialized collectors. These collectors want the absolute best example of every coin they place into their sets. For them, quality is more important than age. When a coin is the finest of its kind, it becomes highly desirable. That was the case with this particular 2000 D dime. When this top-graded piece was made available at auction, collectors were quick to take notice. The coin represented a level of quality almost no other surviving example had achieved. It reflected ideal conditions during its striking, and more importantly, remarkable preservation afterward. Its surfaces showed clarity that is rarely seen on modern circulating coins. As the auction date approached, collectors prepared for the chance to acquire a coin that would be difficult, if not impossible, to replace. Interest grew steadily, supported by the knowledge that so few coins of this grade exist. When the bidding began, participants entered carefully. Each bid represented the understanding that this dime was far above the typical examples available to the public. After the initial bids, the numbers began to rise. Buyers recognized the opportunity in front of them, the chance to add a standout modern coin to a high-grade collection. The bidding progressed gradually as collectors continued to compete. With each increase, it became clearer that this was not an ordinary modern coin. It reflected a combination of rarity in condition, precise minting, and the strong desire among collectors to obtain the best possible examples. As the auction neared its conclusion, the final bids pushed the value higher than many expected. Even seasoned collectors were surprised to see how much interest this dime generated. It showed that value does not always depend on age alone. Scarcity within a grade can carry significant weight. Once the final bid was placed and the auction ended, the result revealed just how appealing this coin had become in the collecting world. The top grade 2000 D Roosevelt dime reached a value of $38,000. This result encouraged more collectors to take a second look at their modern change. It also highlighted how even newer coins can hold unexpected surprises. For many, this dime became a reminder that careful observation can uncover hidden rewards. Now for our second coin, we turn to a piece that may have passed through countless hands without receiving even a moment of attention. The 1996 D Roosevelt dime is something most people would never pause to examine, yet among the many produced that year, a very small number stand out with a quality that has earned the interest of collectors across the country. The year 1996 marked the 50th anniversary of this long-running design, and because of that milestone, collectors naturally paid closer attention to the coins produced during this period. While the majority of 1996 D examples followed the usual pattern of everyday use, some were struck with unusually sharp detail and remained in nearly untouched condition. These few examples would later become the center of attention among those who search for the finest possible coins from each year. Collectors studying the 1996 D quickly learned that this date can be challenging. Even fresh examples often show tiny marks that form during transportation or storage. These small imperfections can make the difference between an average coin and one that stands out. And because so many coins from this year were handled roughly before reaching the public, high-grade survivors are extremely limited. As interest grew, collectors began examining large quantities of coins in hopes of finding that rare exceptional piece. Some sorted through old rolls that had been sealed for decades. Others examined mint sets, hoping that an overlooked example might be hiding among them. But most searches ended with the same result: coins that were nice, but not nice enough to reach the top grading levels. What made the search fascinating was how rarely a flawless example appeared. Even a faint line on the surface or a tiny contact point could reduce the grade, and these are the kinds of marks that nearly every coin acquires without anyone noticing. So when a coin surfaced that appeared to have avoided all of these small imperfections, collectors immediately took interest. One standout 1996 D dime eventually began to attract attention. It had unusually crisp details that were visible even without magnification. Its surfaces were bright and smooth, displaying a level of clarity that set it apart noticeably from typical pieces of the same year. Under close examination, the edges of the letters and the finer points of the design showed precision rarely found on circulated or bag-handled coins. This coin's condition suggested that it had been struck during a moment of optimal minting quality, and that it remained protected afterward, avoiding the usual bumps and friction caused by storage or movement. Because of these traits, the coin was submitted for professional grading. When it returned with one of the highest grades ever assigned to a 1996 D dime, collectors took note. High-grade examples of modern coins can be surprisingly rare, even though they are relatively young. This rarity is what makes them so appealing to collectors who focus on quality rather than age alone. For them, securing a top example can take years of searching and patience. Once the coin received its official grade, it gained a level of visibility that brought growing interest. Collectors who specialize in high-grade sets recognized how difficult it would be to find another coin with similar characteristics. They knew that only a very small percentage of all 1996 D dimes had any chance of surviving in such impressive condition. As the coin moved toward auction, collectors discussed its quality, comparing it with other known examples and assessing its potential place among the finest. The more they studied it, the clearer it became that this coin stood in the upper tier of condition rarity for this year. When the auction finally began, the first bids came in with a sense of caution. Collectors often start slowly, gauging the level of competition. But as the bidding continued, more participants became involved, raising the stakes gradually. Each new bid was a reflection of the coin's condition and the scarcity of comparable pieces. The bidding process revealed just how much value collectors place on coins that rise above the rest. With each increase, the competition became more focused, and the significance of the coin became even clearer. It wasn't simply a well-preserved piece, it was one of the finest known examples of this particular date from the Denver Mint. As the auction progressed, collectors who had followed the coin's journey recognized that this might be their only realistic chance to own an example of this quality. Not every year produces coins with such exceptional preservation, and when they do, the top examples can become highly competitive. With the bidding continuing at a steady pace, it was clear that this 1996 D dime had captured the attention of serious collectors. The coin's strong strike, clean surfaces, and rare level of preservation all contributed to its growing appeal. The fact that so few examples existed at this level only strengthened its position. When the final series of bids arrived, it was evident that the coin had reached a remarkable level of demand. The closing moments underscored the importance of condition rarity in the modern coin market. Age alone does not determine value, quality plays a major role, and this coin demonstrated that clearly. Once the auction concluded and the final bid was confirmed, the results showed just how significant this particular example had become among collectors. This outstanding high-grade 1996 D Roosevelt dime achieved a value of $54,000. So if you come across a 1996 D dime in your change, it may be worth giving it a closer look. Most will be ordinary, but it never hurts to check the details and condition. You never know when a simple coin might turn out to be something far better preserved than expected. And with a few rare examples reaching such impressive values, it's always worth keeping an eye on the coins that pass through your hands. Now we turn to the third coin, and by far the most remarkable of today's find, the 1991 D Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it appears like any other dime from the early 1990s, a coin that has passed through countless hands and wallets without notice. Yet, among collectors, certain examples of this coin have earned exceptional recognition due to their rarity and superior preservation. The 1991 D was produced in substantial numbers at the Denver Mint. For most people, these coins serve their intended purpose: daily transactions, bank deposits, or simple savings in jars and drawers. To the average person, it was just another dime. But collectors understand that within any large production, a small fraction of coins can survive in remarkable condition, untouched and with all the original details perfectly intact. Finding a top-quality specimen from this year is particularly challenging. Even coins tucked away in rolls or sets often acquire minor abrasions, small nicks, or faint contact marks over time. These imperfections, however small, can significantly affect the coin's grade, and in turn, its market value. Truly flawless examples of the 1991 D are extremely scarce, making them highly coveted among specialists. Collectors looking for high-grade modern coins often pay attention to factors that might escape the casual eye. They carefully examine the sharpness of the design, the brightness and reflectivity of the surfaces, and the presence, or absence, of handling marks. In the case of the 1991 D, one coin surfaced that demonstrated all of these qualities at an exceptional level, immediately attracting attention. This particular coin was remarkable in almost every way. Its fields were smooth and unbroken, the design details crisp and fully defined, and its overall appearance was nearly perfect. Under magnification, even the smallest elements of Roosevelt's portrait and the lettering showed outstanding precision. The coin appeared to have avoided the minor contact and friction that nearly all circulating coins accumulate over time. When this coin was submitted for professional grading, the results confirmed what collectors had suspected: it earned one of the highest scores ever recorded for a 1991 D dime. Such a grade is extremely rare for modern coins, as even slight handling can prevent a coin from reaching the top tiers. For serious collectors, owning a coin of this caliber represents the pinnacle of achievement and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The news of its grading generated considerable interest among the collecting community. Specialists in high-grade modern coins, as well as those seeking to complete top-quality sets, immediately recognized the significance of this dime. Its combination of rarity, condition, and precision made it one of the most desirable pieces in circulation, and collectors knew that opportunities to acquire such a coin are exceedingly rare. When it became available for collectors, the anticipation was palpable. Experienced buyers understood that coins of this quality rarely appear and that the chance to secure one may never come again. Each offer reflected growing recognition of the coin's exceptional surfaces, sharp details, and flawless strike. The scarcity of comparable examples only strengthened its appeal, especially among those who carefully follow modern coin issues. Collectors and experts examined the coin from every angle, taking note of its brightness, clarity, and nearly untouched surfaces. Many highlighted that coins like this serve as benchmarks, demonstrating what the best preserved specimens of a particular year can look like. Its remarkable preservation makes it a centerpiece for advanced collections and a model example for Roosevelt dimes minted in the modern era. Even for those newer to coin collecting, this 1991 D demonstrates why condition and rarity matter. A coin that may look ordinary at first glance can reveal extraordinary qualities when carefully inspected. Its value is not only a reflection of its grade but also the careful handling and luck required for it to survive in such exceptional condition for decades. The coin also offers a glimpse into minting standards and practices of the early 1990s. It shows how a precise strike, combined with ideal handling and storage, can produce something extraordinary. For collectors who appreciate the nuances of minting, this 1991 D is not just a coin, it's a representation of skill, quality, and chance intersecting perfectly. As collectors evaluated it, many agreed that this coin could serve as a reference for grading future examples. Its surfaces, strike, and detail quality make it a benchmark, helping numismatists compare and assess other 1991 D dimes. Owning such a coin is about more than monetary value, it's about historical significance and the opportunity to hold one of the finest examples of a modern coin. By the end of its sale, the 1991 D Roosevelt dime had reached a value of $63,000. So if you ever come across a 1991 D dime tucked away in a jar, a drawer, or an old roll, it's worth taking a closer look. While most examples are common, occasionally you may find one with exceptional surfaces and sharp detail, the kind that collectors seek and value highly. Coins like this remind us that even everyday pieces can sometimes hold extraordinary potential, and that careful observation can turn a simple coin into a remarkable discovery. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through some of the most remarkable Roosevelt dimes. I hope you enjoyed discovering these rare coins as much as I did. If you found this video interesting and want to see more coin discoveries, tips, and collector stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support means a lot, and it helps keep this channel going while bringing you more exciting finds from the world of coins.